All right, let's just jump right in. Imagine having an AI co-pilot that could take your manual test cases and almost instantly rate complete production-ready automation scripts for you. Well, today we're going to break down the exact prompt that makes this whole thing possible. Look, if you're in QA, you absolutely know this pain. You've got a perfectly good manual test case, right? But that process of translating it into clean, reliable automation code, it's such a grind. It's repetitive, it's slow, and honestly, it's a huge bottleneck for any team. But what if that entire process, all that meticulous coding, could be collapsed from hours of work into just a few seconds? Seriously, that's the incredible promise of what we're looking at today, a completely different approach using AI. And this really is the core of the problem, right? The bottleneck. That manual conversion process is where productivity just stalls. Every single script has to be crafted perfectly, it has to follow best practices, you gotta set up the frameworks. It's just a mountain of tedious work. And you know what? That kind of tedious work is the perfect job for a smarter solution. So, how do we fix this? Well, it's not about just throwing a vague request at some generic AI and hoping for the best. Nope. We're talking about using a meticulously crafted, super detailed prompt that literally transforms the AI into your personal senior QA automation engineer, available on demand. And this is it, the Universal Test Automation Converter prompt. The best way to think of it is like a master blueprint, a really detailed set of instructions that tells an AI exactly how to think and act like a seasoned expert. Its one and only mission: to turn your manual tasks into flawless, ready-to-run code. So, how does it actually work? I mean, what's the magic here? Well, the magic is all in the structure. The prompt is broken down into these really specific sections that guide the AI, leaving absolutely no room for error or, weird interpretations. Let's take a look at the key parts. And from your side, the user's perspective, the process is just incredibly simple. You just give it your test case, you pick your framework, like Selenium or Playwright, and then you tell it to generate the code. That's it. 3 steps and you have a complete automation script. The real secret to its accuracy is the standardized input format. See, by breaking down the test case into these crystal clear details, preconditions, steps, all of it, you get rid of any ambiguity. You're basically giving the AI a perfect set of requirements, which is exactly why you get such reliable output every single time. And just check out the versatility here. This thing isn't locked into one system. The prompt is totally framework agnostic, supporting 7 of the most popular automation frameworks out there. You just pick the one your team uses, and the AI adapts instantly. It's pretty amazing. But here's the real kicker. It's not just about generating any old code. The real power here is that the prompt generates high-quality, production-ready code. And it does this by enforcing a really strict set of professional standards and best practices right from the get-go. This is a perfect example. One of the biggest red flags in automation code is using hard-coded delays, thread.sleep. It makes tests slow, brittle, and just plain unreliable. The prompt strictly forbids this. It demands the use of modern, dynamic waiting strategies that are way more robust and efficient. In fact, the source material makes this a critical, non-negotiable rule. This one instruction alone elevates the quality of the generated code immensely. It's all about preventing those flaky tests before they're even written. And it doesn't stop there. The prompt enforces a whole suite of best practices. We're talking about using the page object model for maintainability, applying clear naming conventions, building in proper error handling, and even setting things up for data-driven testing and reporting. It's not just a script. It's delivering a complete professional project. Okay, so we've seen how it works, but let's talk about why this is such a total game changer. What does this level of intelligent automation actually mean for a QA team on a day-to-day basis? Here it is, the headline number. The source material estimates an 80% time savings. Just let that sink in for a second. A task that might have taken you an entire day can now be done before you've even finished your morning coffee. I mean, that's the scale of the impact we're talking about. And this chart just visualizes that difference perfectly. On the left, you've got that mountain of time and effort for manual conversion. And on the right, that tiny little sliver it takes with the AI prompt. This is what frees up your engineers to focus on what actually matters: strategy, deep analysis, and finding those really complex bugs. And the impact goes way beyond just speed. The whole team benefits. You get consistent code quality across the board. You get a standardized approach no matter who's writing the test, and you get a much lower barrier to entry for engineers who might be new to a particular framework. The AI handles all the setup so you can just go. And the best part is, this isn't some far-off theory. This is a practical tool you can start using right now. And getting started is incredibly straightforward. Here are the exact steps from the source. You copy the whole prompt, you paste in your formatted test case, you tell it your target framework, and you just ask it to generate the code. That's it. You've just delegated hours of tedious work to your expert AI assistant. And this brings us to a really fascinating final thought. As AI takes over all the repetitive, boilerplate parts of coding, it pushes us humans to focus on higher-level skills. It frees us up to perfect test strategy, to analyze complex results, and to ensure true quality, not just code completion. So what parts of your job would you perfect with 80% more time?